All right, so before we begin, I'd like to take this time to say that we're veering off a little bit from the procurement application that we started in the last live stream. We were able to get to a substantial point when it came to designing the database, but I felt as though it was very important that we deal with a little bit of a change in cinematics a little bit to show how I make dynamic looking UI only run very well with the backend. And that's why I conjured up the topic and the title that we're starting off with today, and that is building a dynamic menu manager with Laravel and Livewire version 2. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us actually begin the system. Okay, so just give me a second to ready that up for all of us. I know I should be changing that logo for the stinger. I can't see my chat. Okay. Okay, good. So in case anybody wants to say anything, I will be ready for your comments and your chats and everything. Now we're good. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. I have a client project over here by the name Olunana Gardens. For anybody who is Kenyan will be able to go to this place like at any one given point if they want to hold events, they want to hold literally anything, right? Weddings, birthdays, baby showers and all that stuff. You can do it here and they will be able to cater for all your needs. But this is free marketing. I know because they're my clients and I need to actually find ways to get them money so that they can pay me. But anyway, how am I going to go about this? Well, inside my restaurant page, I have a bit of a conundrum, right? I have this part over here for the restaurant menu, and we have these things like appetizers, entrees, sides, desserts, and beverages. And how this works is like, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Like if I click on this, it will definitely change to showing us, the different kinds of menu items that are there. Now, if we are to check out how this operates, so this is the restaurant side of things. So if I come into the page of the restaurants, just to zoom in, so restaurant.play.php, and then we have this part over here for Livewire front, restaurant menu. So we come into Livewire front, and then we go to restaurant menu. So this is generally the idea. So how this happens inside the UI, right, is if we have to sort out, of course, the menu categories that are there, and we'll go back into the database and actually see what we're talking about. So we have menu categories and then we have the menu items. So how this is depicted is if we have any menu categories, then you have to list the categories down in this format right here, all right? And if we have those menu categories, then for every single menu category, we're going to list them down inside this kind of format, where if the item is actually the active one, then we are actually going to highlight it in some sort of format. Given that appetizers is the active one, we're going to highlight it around this box right here. So entrees are the active ones, sides are the active ones, desserts are the active ones, beverages are the active ones. That's how it works. All right, so now looking at the way things are over here, we can actually operate on the UI just as is. It's just perfect just the way it is at the moment. Great. So we have inside our database, if we look at our database migrations, we have two tables that are very pivotal to this. And this is the menu categories table, which is pretty much a title and an image path, and the menu items, which is now the menu category, the title, the description, the price, and the image path. All these things are very much changeable. The image path is definitely nullable in a case where you don't have an image to upload at that particular time. Understandable. So how do these get sorted out? Well, when we go to our admin dashboard for the same site, this is where we're going to actually be crafting out some few things, right? Right, so we're going to be checking out our levels of content. And for that, we have to also look at a point where we have the menu. But we don't have a menu section right here at the backside. So what we're going to do is we're going to create that right here underneath this link. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I need to find the perfect font awesome icon for this menu, right? And then I am going to, I could as well just look at the menu, right? So I could use bars, I could use, could probably look at a list, maybe this list, maybe, something, or maybe we just do food. Then we can do a hamburger, we can do the French fries, we can do the cloud meatball or something like that. We could do the cheeseburger. Cheeseburger looks more logical at this point, but these ones are pro items. We don't want anything pro. We want the free ones. I think, yeah. So these are the free ones. And then in terms of food, we can actually look at the pizza slice. Maybe we could use the pizza slice. I think that would be beneficial, definitely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my components and look for my my sidebar navigation, and then we look at the admin links. And then over here is where we're going to add those various items right now. So instead of entity management, we're going to come in here and add that. We go and call it a menu. Then admin menus. And then over here we have pizza slice. How will that appear? So if I come in here and save that, then I'm going to go ahead and reload this. And of course, maybe there'll be an error because of there not being any links to actually support the fact that I'm trying to create that. But we have menu here, we have these links over here. So you can see the menu link has already been updated. Now, if we want, we can actually create those links and create those Livewire components if they have not been created just yet. So if I come in here, Livewire, admin, and then we look for menus, we can't find menus. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to open my terminal. I'm going to come in here and do PHP artisan make Livewire. And then we're going to do admin menus index. Okay, we have menus index, we have menus create, and then we have menus edit. Inside the menus, before we even go to inside the menus index, we have to go to the web routes. Inside the web routes, we have to, what is necessary in this situation is we have to, let me just move this out of the way for now so that we can see all these routes. I'm just going to copy one, maybe this one. And then we say menus. So prefix menus. And then we're just going to go ahead and replace all these parts over here. So menus, menus, menus. Just replace all of that. Menus, menus, index create edit. We have the menus right there. And I think that should be that. Just like that. And I think we're good. I think we're good with that. So now, the moment I'm done with that, I will go back to my admin links. And then over here on admin menus, I'll do menus index and menus create. And that's that. So in any situation, I can come in here, refresh this. Ouch. And upon refreshing it, we can see that if we come in here and hover over these this link over here, we can see that we have the admin menus. So I'm just going to click on overview, and it says you can't read menus. And the reason why it says you can't read menus is because of one particular factor over here, that is the permissions. So if we go to the permissions side of things, now that's in the database. I'm going to go to my permissions, the ones that I've set beforehand, because this is a big system. That's why I'm not covering everything on it. And these are the permissions that I have pretty much uploaded into the database. So this at the moment is probably not what not everything that I needed, but in essence, if I'm going to look at, let's see, the web routes. If I'm going to see the web routes and see what I did over here inside the middleware, there's this permission, read menus, create menus, edit menus. What I'm going to do instead, I'm actually going to get rid of these middlewares so that we can come back and restructure that. Maybe there's a different way we can go about that. So the moment I come in here, I will refresh and we have a blank slate. So we already have our menus done and dusted in terms of the UI. So how are we going to manage it? Well, I'm going to go into the admins menus. Look for the menus. All right, so we're here in the admin menus index. And initially, I just want to, first of all, deal with the UI. And inside the UI, I'm just going to do x:\header, because I know there's a header tag there, and I'm going to just call it menus. So the moment I do that, I'll refresh here, I'll see menus, and also over here, menus. All right, then we start the card header. And then I do h5, and I'll say list of menu items, which is done and dusted. Now, how am I going to deal with the card body? It's simply a table, and I'm going to do table special. I'm going to get rid of the striping. Table inverse, gotten rid of, leave it at table responsive, remove the inverse, and I just need that. I just need the ID, and then I'll just need the category. I'll need the item name. I'll need the price. And now here on the item name, I'll probably want to put it here so that I can be able to also populate it with the photos of that item. And something that we've also not seen is if we go to the database and look at what our database entails when we're talking about the menu items. We're here. We have the title, the description, the price, and the image path. So we already are dealing with the title. We already are dealing with the price. Menu category is done. We're good. Keep on dripping this thing. I need a tissue paper or some serviettes. All right, so we have description, price, image, path. We're good. So if we're going to go back here, we have the item name. We'll have the description following right after. We have the category, the price, and now the actions. And for those guys who don't know what actions are, it's whether or not we are deleting or editing this particular item. So now when we come to the T body, this one TR that we're going to be using. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 TDs per TR. 1, 2, 3. Just get rid of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's how we go about it. But this one, this centralized one, I'm going to put it at a class of text. Class of dflex, and then flex row, and justify content center. Since we're using Bootstrap 4, it's not going to be a big issue. Then we're going to come in here and put this as text center. Should be an N. All right, then down here for every flex column we have a button, and each button over here is so the first one is it's an anchor tag. I'm going to do a.btn secondary, I think. And inside that btn, I'm just doing a font awesome icon. So i.fas.fa_edit. And the route over here should be actually, I'll leave this blank for now, just to see how this shapes up. Another thing I'll also want to do is an mx of 1 for each of these columns. So mx of 1 here, mx of 1 here, which is a margin of horizontal distancing of 1, or I think maybe 1 rem, I don't know. Over here, I'll do btn danger, and it's a button. And it being a button, also over here means that it's a button. And then over here, I'll just do trash. Now, if we refresh this and look at the table that we have here, we have this, right? Another thing I'll also need to absolutely do is the table responsive situation over here should be up here. Yeah, that's how we go about it. And then the footer, I think it was a footer, which I'm going to get rid of, but it's all good. Okay, so this being done, I think we are good to go and start populating the data. So in order for us to populate the data, we're going to just come in here, cut this off, and then do a for each loop. And then I'm going to come in here and say menu items as item, which is fine. Now, this is obviously going to throw an error when we're talking about this, because there's no variable called menu items in our component right here. So inside our component, I'm just going to come in here and do public menu items, and I'm going to initialize it as an array actually, so that once I refresh this, we're good. Okay. Now, in the process of allowing this, we also have menu items, right? And these menu items are inside the mount function. They're going to be initialized properly in the mount function. All right, and then we're going to come in here and say this menu items is equal to menu item all. Or I could do this order by, and then we have price, and we want it to order it at descending format, and then we just hit get. We finished that. So now we have all these menu items, but we have not populated them in terms of what is the ID, what is the item name, description, category, and price. So what we're going to do is inside our index.blade, we're going to start populating this data. So the first thing I'll populate over here is item ID. So once we've done item ID, we're going to be doing, actually let's just do all of these item IDs so that we can see if it actually works. And you can see it works perfectly. So over here on item ID number 6, instead of item ID, we're just going to do item title. Then after that, item description. Then after that, we're going to come in here and do item category title. All right, let's refresh just to check if things are working, and we have a problem. And the problem lies inside our menu item model, where we have menu category instead of category. So it should be menu category. And once we do that, I think that resolves the error almost immediately. Then we have the price. Now the price is the price. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first of all number format it. And then I'm going to put our currency, which is Kenyan shillings, right outside. And then you can see it. So in this number format, I want it to be to 2 decimal places. Although most of the time, these menus usually have it to no decimal places whatsoever. Actually, you know what, let's leave it like that, at no decimal places whatsoever. And just like that, we have indeed populated our database. Ordered it by price so that you can see the most expensive to the least expensive. All right, so how are we editing this? Well, if we go to my edit function right here, or rather the edit link, I'm just going to come in here and do route. And because we named these routes, I'm going to come in here and do admin.menus dot edit, and then because edit also takes in a parameter, we're going to pass in the parameter of the ID of this particular item. So it's item ID. And the moment that is done, then we can click on this and it will take us to the edit section. But we need to finish the create section first. So if I were to go to the create section first, this is how it looks like. And then we start changing things, right? First of all, X slot, header, and then let's say create menu. Item. Right, and then we come in here, we do a .card, card header, page 5, and create a new menu item. Right, that's how we go about these things. All right, so let's move. We come to card body. Inside the card body, again, we're going to do now, this time we're going to be doing a form sort of, but we're not doing a form per se. Like, we're doing it in a certain manner that that can be accepted like a Livewire, full-on Livewire component. So doing it like Vue.js almost, because this is what happens usually. I'll come in here and just do an input, right? And this input is a Bootstrap 4 input. Over here, I'll come in here and say title. This is the title, right? So over here, it's going to be a text. Then after this, I'm just going to go ahead and do, actually, before I go ahead and do a title, I'm going to initialize grid. Column MD6 or column 12. And then that's when we put our form, our title. Now we'll have title, we'll have, what else are we missing? What else am I missing? What else am I missing? Let's go to this, yeah. So title, description, price. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put title, then I'm going to put price, and then I'll put description afterwards. Because of this, the column MD6, I'm just going to come in here and do that again. Price in Kenyan shillings, of course. Then we come in here and do number. Then we'll come in here and do, yeah, I'm not going to put any placeholders. Maybe for here, I'll put a placeholder. So in this here placeholder, I'll say enter your menu item title. Something like that. And then over here on the small, I'm just going to come in here, cut it for now, get rid of this one, get rid of the placeholder for this one. And then we're in business now. So now the next thing I'm going to do is column 12 and the text area which prevails, description. That's how we go about that. Next thing I am probably missing is the image path, which I'll probably deal with later because it's nullable. So given that it's nullable, I think we can pull through a bit later after that. Then I'm going to just come in here and call in a save button. So btn.btn.btn dark, let's say, right, with text uppercase at the helm. And then I'll just come in here and say save. If I refresh this, it will appear right now. Perfect, right? Perfect indeed. And down here we'll put the image path. We'll put the uploading of the image, right? All right, so remove. If we actually, you know what? Let's not move just yet. Let's actually put that. I'm just going to come in here and say input file. So here we have the image. And then over here on the type, we have file. I'll remove the placeholder real quick, and then I'll get rid of this. I believe it's time to populate the wire models. So now we'll come in here and do the wire model. And given that the wire model is from the menu item, I'm just going to come in here and just do menu item dot title. Then over here, I'm just going to do an error, and then menu title, menu item title, sorry. And then I'll paste that small that I copied earlier, which is this one. And instead, I'll change this to text danger. And then I'll change this help text into the message. Then I save it like that. Now we move to using this kind of methods on these other sides. So in this situation, we have a wire model, and we're probably going to be talking about the price. So menu item dot price, and I'm going to copy the same down here on the error. So we have menu item description. Then we have the wire model. The wire model is going to say the same thing as this. Now we're locked in. Now we're properly locked in. I think now once we move down here to the image is when we now can say, okay, wire model photo. And the reason why I've said photo is because I'll say photo down there, but inside this error, the error, I will say photo as well. And yeah, we're foolproof from that point onwards. So even these same things, I could probably copy this and put it inside the edit, just the exact way it is. Actually, let's actually do that. We see how efficient this code is. Or this coding style, let's say. And I'm hella sleepy. This is a wrong time to start this live stream, but you know what? We will push. We will push regardless. Okay, so moving on from this point, the UI is done for the edit and the index side of things. Over here, I'll just come in here and change this. This will be edit. Edit a menu item. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now, when we go to the back components, like create, for example, we'll have use with file uploads. We'll have a public. It should be public. And then this is where we now start uploading the menu item. And then putting in the variable. Then others, of course, now are there. So public, like say public photo. Then we make a function called mount. So now I've failed to import this one. It's to be imported. Right. So now inside the mount function, we actually, before we go to the mount function here, now there's a mental block. Well, that's a proper mental block now. This menu item is equal to, so now given that this is a new one, so we're just going to come in here and say new menu item, just like that. But then when we look at the edit is supposed to have the same functions except a few small minute tweaks. Jeez. And my drowsiness is starting to catch up. Anyway, we move regardless, right? We move regardless. Now, I'm just going to come in here and create a function. And given that this is inside the create, first things first, protected rules. Yeah, that's where we are. Inside protected rules, we're going to have an array. This array is always based on menu item. So inside menu item, we have title, which is required. We have the description, which is required. We have the price, which is required. And then we have, there's something I'm missing, I think. Come on, get your head together. There's something I'm missing. Title, description, price. Oh, and then there's photo. And I'm going to come in here and just say image. It's not required. And yeah, you can upload however big you want. Oh my goodness. How am I feeling like this? All right. At times like this, I wish I had a standing desk, a sit-stand desk. Price, title, description, image path, menu category as well. So we didn't have a situation where we're selecting the menu category. And then inside the render, goodness. Let's take a small pause, guys. Let's take a small pause. Because I'm sure we're going to go beyond the 1 hour 30-minute mark. Let's take a small pause. I had to let blood flow back to my head. My goodness. All right, so yeah, I think we're good here. Oh yeah, we're good. I wasn't seeing very well because of this drowsiness that I'm having at the moment. Now, photo image, menu category, all these things are required. If I go back to now the create situation, I am pretty sure there's something that I have missed, and that is indeed the create. So I'm just going to come in here, duplicate this, get rid of this input and put a select instead. It's going to be a B4 form select. Don't mind if I do. I'm just going to take this. Should be menu category ID actually, not menu category. And then I'm going to drag this all the way to the select. I'm going to get rid of the former label. I'm going to get rid of the former group. And we restructure, we rename, we call it menu category. And then we are going to come in here and then just say selected. And then we say, please select your menu category. Category. Goodness. Then we just come in here, cut that for each menu categories. All. And this one comes in from the app stroke models. Like that. But then these ones are supposed to be slanted back, slant back. That's it. Okay, so just start to receive a small call. Value over here. Now inside this, it's menu categories as category. And then we have this value over here. Value will be category ID. And then here value will be, here the actual overlay will be category title. And once you do that, we save it. I'm just going to come in here and get rid of this column MD6. I'll select all of this and then go to edit. I'll paste it right here. And then when we look at, don't mind me on that, and we look here, we have an unexpected. And the reason why that is because of here, this function. So now this function called save, it's supposed to be save. I'm going to come in here and this validate. And then this, then we monitor also the photo request and everything, but we just needed to sort out the syntax errors, and that's it. So you can see class app models menu category is not found, and the reason why that is because, well, if we look at the menu models, the category is not supposed to be in plural. So if we come in here and look at this menu categories, should be menu category all. Refresh, we have everything in set. Aha, right. So we're good to go with this. Now, yeah, I think this is pretty much logical. Then when you also look at the way we've crafted out this over here, down here we're going to say use with file uploads, and we're good to go. Now, how do we go ahead and store these files? Well, inside this public, I'm just going to come in here and do public, maybe say menu images or something like that. So the first things first, I'm going to come in here and say if photo, right? If this photo, then I'm going to come in here and say this photo store as, okay. Then on storing as, I have to come in here and give the name, and then also give the name, and then also give the storage path of where it's supposed to go. So I'll probably say now this photo store as, let's actually look at an example that I've done in a previous project actually. One where I saved the profile photos through the employees side. So I'll come in here, go to Livewire employee profile. So the function goes like a little bit like this. If I'm editing, for example, now the file that is supposed to be uploaded for the profile photo should be somewhere here right now. Yeah, save profile photo. So the maximum size of the image over here is 5 megabytes. I'll actually copy that strategy and say that the photo is actually required to be 5 megabytes. And then I'll make it nullable. Okay, so when they are stored, they store as, this is the full name of the place, and they say the full name of the photo that they're storing, and then they give the file name, and then they give the disk on where it is supposed to be stored. So say for example I take this, all of this until there, actually take all of this until here, right? I'll paste it here. What things am I changing? The first thing I'm changing here is menu items, menu underscore items, right? All right, then I'll come in here and delete this. Actually, I'll delete that as well. Menu items, give the file name, and then the disk, which is public. So now this file name, I need to declare it over here, right? Or file name. And this file name will be equal to the str slug. And I'm going to come in and slug. Maybe this menu item title, yeah. And then maybe I couple it out with I double it back with a hyphen and a what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Like maybe a timestamp. Right, mdhis, and that's how we go about it. So now this str, I need to import it in a different manner. Use str. I'm gonna use, I hope it's not been deprecated. It was the best package you could use for such situations. Oh my. Trying to look for it. Illuminate. Support str. That's where I need it from. So this so far is fine. Store it in the public. Do they have an extension? I am not sure. Let's actually look at this. Ah, yes, they did. So this profile photo extension coming right up. Like that. Okay. I'm feeling a bit better now that this is almost done. Now we need to save this in public, and then we need to also save it as the photo path, the image path for this menu item. So I'll come in here and say this menu item image path is equal to, and then now we come in here and we take whatever it is that we put over here this particular time, like this, like that, like that, like that, all the way, right? So we'll come in here and take the final name. Sorry, not this, but this over here. This all the way till here. We'll come in here, we'll put it there. Like that. And then we do a dot file name there. And we close it with a semicolon. I think we're good to go. And then after that has been done, that is when we come in here and come and say this menu item updates. And then that's when we can say, okay, so well, this is a save actually, not an update. And then we come in here and do what we want, like even emit the message. We can do an emit event. Done. Then we can say successfully, so successfully created this menu item. Great. Now this function save should apply on the other side. That's the edit side, but it needs to also be updated. So how do we go about that? So I'm just going to come in here, copy this, paste it on the edit. And then over here in the mount, we're going to come in here and pass an ID. And then we're going to come in here and say, this menu item, we found this item that has the same ID. All right, and then of course we're going to be using the use illuminate support SGR. Illuminate support str. Now that's good, that's good, that's good. Over here we just come in here and say update. And successfully edited this menu item. I think that should be that. And so now we have to look at whether or not it will start. So I'll come in here into the overview, and then I'll go and look at the edit. And we have many categories, all not found. So I'm just going to come in here and do a singular. And boom, we're good. Now the part for the menu category, I don't understand why it's not selecting one particular one, of which it should actually. It should select a particular one. Even though the circumstances are the menu category should actually be menu category ID. Okay, now let's refresh. Still nothing on this part. Okay. So this was in the create function. We edited that. So now we need to edit it in the edit function, which is here. So this is in the create. Need to put this in the edit. That should be good. It should be running. So why is it not? Because if I come in here and select this, like let's say I select sides, right? There's nothing that's going to change over here in this data. And the reason why that is because let's say I select something off of my computer. Can't handle without file uploads. Makes sense. So I'm just going to go to the edit. Use with file uploads. Save that. Nothing because of this. Okay, take another break. Shorter this time. Okay. Now, there has to be something that is terribly wrong with this part or this part here. But of course, yeah, I just needed to think. Wire model on this part over here. So, menu item, menu category ID. That's it. So I think that's all, because all these other ones have wire model. We're good with that. We're good with this part. So if I come in here and refresh this, it should have something. This was the create, so I think we'll need to do the edit as well. So if the create has it. Great. So now that that's done, right, we We can try hit save. And this save button, nothing is happening. So we just need to go back to this, the create and the edit. We come in here and just do wire click. And we need to hit save. Same thing for the edit. All right, now in the create functionality, this is where we are. In the edit, this is where we are. So now this is what's going to happen. If I hit save here, it should, in terms of the edit part of things, it should redirect me back to where I was. So I'll come in here and say redirect. And what I'll do here, I'll return it. And then I will come in and say this previous URL. Now inside of this previous URL, what I need here is a public previous URL. And inside my mount function, I'm just going to come in here and say this previous URL is equal to URL. Okay, it's it's in facades. And then I come in here and take previous. It's easy as done. So if I come in here and click on save, it should now redirect me. Once I refresh, of course. So I say property profile photo not found on component admin menus index. And the problem is here. It shouldn't even be this profile photo, it should be profile photo, it should be photo. And I think that's one error that we've run into the edit that is also in the create. So we're just going to come in here and do photo. All right, now we're good. Now if I hit here, extension on null, right? So now you can see it can only work if this photo even exists in the first place. Same thing here. So if that's the case, then if I hit save, it works. And we move, right? And then, of course, there's so many kinks that we'll probably need to work on. But now, this being the way it is, if I come in here and say this is the edited stick, this is the edited stick, then I save and we move, right? So once we come back to the main page, which is on the restaurant side of things, so we come to restaurant, and yeah, that's where we are at. So we look at the entrees, and we have the steak, and then we say this is the edited steak, this is the price. That's how we work on things. So yeah, the menu is as dynamic as it could be. The only thing now is we need to find a way to download let's talk about how we need a button down here to download it in PDF. So given that this is also a Livewire component, the restaurant thing is also a Livewire component. I have the restaurant menu here. and we have it such that we have we'll have a function over here, and then we'll say download PDF, right? In terms of the PDF structure, the package that I want to use is barry_vdh. Laravel DomPDF. So I'm just going to come in here, copy this. Just gonna come in here and paste that. In fact, we won't put it here. Now come to mention it, we won't put it there. Where we will put it is inside the web routes. Okay, inside the web routes, if we come in here and look at our URIs over here, we'll come in here and say route get, and then we'll just come in here and say menu Olunana menu, right? And this will of course couple down with the function. And now we talk of restructuring and making sure that the menu items pop in the way they need to be popping in. All right, so we come in here and say PDF is equal to new PDF, right? Then we'll come and say PDF load file or load view. Actually, it's supposed to be load view. So I'm just going to come in here and say load view. And then the view here will be doc.menu. And then we'll say set paper to be size A4 and portrait. And then PDF stream. Now, the problem with this is that we don't have this menu document right here. And then another thing also is this PDF. I don't know if we want to import it like that or we want to import it like this. So I'll just do that, and then I'll get rid of this. And then once that is done, I think we'll be good to go with this. But now, I don't know, use of unknown class, facet PDF, yeah. And we're good. But how did we do it in the previous documents? So what used to happen? Let me actually sort this one out on my own before using any of my previous projects, because I don't think it's an initializer really. Maybe what I could do is here, I could actually do that. Yeah, makes sense. Then over here, I just need to redo a return PDF stream. And I think we're good. I think we're good at this point, right? So now we need to create a doc menu kind of format. But the one thing that needs to be really looked out for is the data that is being input over here. So if I come in here and say doc menu, there has to be data that I'm inputting over here. And the data that I want to put in here is menu items, or rather, let's do it like this. We'll do that, an array, and then the first array will be menu category all, right? And then the second array will be menu item all. Sounds a bit crazy, but it works. It will work, definitely will work. Now, inside of my views over here, I have to come into doc, and then I have to come and create menu.blade.php. Now, before we even proceed on with this, what I want to do here is, instead of doing it like that, menu category all, I'll come in here and do it like this. And then say menu categories. And then after saying menu categories as well, we have to say menu items. Right. So now it could be as simple as maybe I come in here and say we create a HTML like so. And then we title it as document, maybe title it as menu. And then inside the body, we want to come in here and say for each menu categories, or menu categories as category. All right. All I come in here and do is li, then we'll come and say category title. So that's the situation, and then we need to put like that link, that tag over here. That so if I come in here into this restaurant menu, and then I come in here, I could put the button right under the menu items themselves, right? So I could maybe say this row, we close up the row, then over here I do a btn.btn primary, right? Instead of btn, I'll do a.btn.btn primary, and the h reference will be route menu dot download. And then when I go back to my web routes, I come in here and set that name here. Name menu dot download, just like that. So now when I move here, it should pop up actually just underneath here. So this is the button we're talking about. So if I come and click here, we have something to go by, at least, right? And if we wanted to nest them, if we wanted to nest them, right? If we wanted to nest all those, then we could go into menu.blade.php over here, and then we'll come in here and say for each, right? and then we come and say menu items as item, and then I'll say if item menu category ID is equal to the category ID, then just list them down here then. So I'll just come in here and say item item price. I'll say item title and -it, and then put item price here. So ideally, this is how it just goes about, right? So I'm just going to come in here. Let me just close this. So if I come here, refresh this, you can see. So what I'll probably do here is I'll do a break tag in between here, BR, like that. And maybe, or I could even do a list item. So LI, like that. Exit there. Put it here. And voila. But now this LI should be like what? An ordered list maybe. OL. And then I'll put it like that. So now we'll have it labeled as 1, 2, 3, like that. So we have a menu all of a sudden. Ooh. See that? We have a menu. We have a menu. It is as dynamic as ever. Now, the problem that will probably come in is the styling of the matter of fact, but that is not our problem. I've just come in to show you how it is that we can make this stuff a lot more dynamic than your normal situation. Because most people will just design it, and then from there on, they just leave it to the design. They don't make it as dynamic as it should be. So that being said, I will leave it at that. I think I've achieved what I needed to achieve. Maybe I put a break tag over here to see how it will end up. And maybe a little bit of a floating or something like that. I don't know. Or a text align, something like that. But this is pretty much what we were aiming for. That we'll be able to craft out our menu just from clicking a link, and now the design will be something totally different, of course. So what I'm going to plan on doing is, first of all, again, this needs to be done something different. So let's say view full menu, right? Let's say we view full menu, and then we're going to style it in a manner that is like the what is inside here. Like if you look at the tabs over here, the tabs icon and all that stuff. And then we have this. We could actually do it like this. So it's a probability. We could actually work on it like that. Maybe if I can look at any other place that has a button that is similar, like maybe say on this side over here, we could take this button, put it at the center, right? So we'll take this button, let's say this one here. Let's inspect you. Don't know why my comp is hanging all of a sudden. So you can see it is under this BUTN MT30 MB30. So BUTN. So you can see I can come in here, close it here. BUTN light button light dot MB30 dot MT30, and then we put that there. It doesn't have any styles in the href or whatnot, and we're good. So now if I come in here and actually just go to the restaurant, look at the menu and refresh, check it out. View full menu. Now the problem here is I need to remove this first. There's something I'm looking at, maybe putting it to the center of this, which probably could be a row issue. We could actually just drag it to the center. And then it takes up full capacity. Let's say we wanted it. I don't know if text center will work. Yeah, it will work. So there we go. So this is essentially how we would go about building our dynamic restaurants menu with downloadable capacity for everything. Then I click on that. We have our full menu right there. So styling is the only thing that we need to do. So I'm just going to go back to my Pinterest and look at things. But that is it from me. I said I was going to do this for 1 hour, 30 minutes and get it done with. I've gotten it done with. At least things are flowing the way I wanted them to flow. The menu is being fully managed dynamically through the backend, and there's no front-end shenanigans that is stopping this thing from being, not actually making this restaurant restaurant menu not responsive. So let's sit down and look at an overview. Okay, so we have this restaurant menu. How was it crafted? Well, first things first, we have to look at the restaurant menu.blade.php. I'm just going to zoom out so that we can see the code in its full glory, and then also close the tab on the left. Okay, so we have our menu categories, which we have grouped like this. Okay, so the moment we group them like this, or rather we loop them like this, and then we put them inside these divs. So we put them inside these divs so that they could pop out and appear the way they are appearing right now in terms of the font size and also in terms of the barriers. I'm sure this tabs area also has something to do with the color of the borders that are supposed to be around that. And then we came in and also did a bit of we used the UI to our advantage, in the sense of, if I was to click on one of these, then it changes the variable called isActive. So the isActive variable is inside our Livewire restaurant menu over here, and the active is equal to the ID that we're going to be talking about. So now once I did that, if we look at the restaurant menu, every time I click over here, every time I click on one item, then it sets one particular category ID into active. It uses the activate function, which in turn sets the active variable inside here into this ID, the ID that has been pushed through. Now, once it sets it into that, then it will come in here and use these construct functions to be able to check which menu categories are the ones that are going to be pushed out first. And then from those menu categories, which menu items are going to also be pushed out. Now, on enabling the active variable to be exploited, we come in here and look at the menu content in full, right? In this menu content situation, right, it only loads up based on the for each situation what items are matching the menu category that's within the active variable. And then everything else just, it just works, right? It just works. Now, in terms of managing this menu dynamically, we have an admin section, which we just created on stream. And this admin section allows us to be able to manage more things than one. Users, clients, event types, payment methods, and of course, we have the menu over here. So if we look at this menu, we look at how these things are distributed. So you have the categories, we have the descriptions, we have the item, and so on and so forth. We can even change the image if we want to, but the menu doesn't really accommodate for images, so it's not really a must. And yeah, from that point onwards, we really actually just move on to the next level. So this is pretty much how all these things are operated. The backbone of the application is in this admin panel. We have the list of the menus. We can create another menu item. We can decide to edit this particular menu item and change the price and all that stuff. And now I wash my hands off of this project, actually. This was actually the last part of this project. So all these other areas are available for use and available for tweaking. And I might make this repository public soon. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been 1 hour, 35 minutes, and I have had so much fun actually doing this project. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed that stream, if you guys enjoyed watching this, if you learned something new, it's not even about joy, but it's not even about joy or having fun, but it's about putting yourself yourself into a position where you can learn something new. And if you have, then please indeed leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, Nyanumba Codes will be back live. Now, I also wanted to mention something. As you guys may have not been aware, or some of you may be aware, this channel used to be called Tech Chess, and now I've decided to rebrand it to a more personal feel because I felt like Tech Chess was a more generic name and it was having nothing to do with the tech that we were doing. So I felt as though if I restructured into Nyanumba Codes, then we would be able to, I would be able to, synonymously relate this channel to coding. And yeah, I think the rest of that is very much self-explanatory. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am signing off. I think this was the last bit of code I was doing for today. I got a bit drowsy in the end there, but the show must go on. We must pull through, and we must finish. So that being said, this outro is taking forever. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please take care and God bless.